What's going on YouTube? Outlandy Andy here, and today's a special day because I'm doing an install. What do we got? What's in the box? Let's check it out. Alright, so we have a metal grate here. We got some hoses and pipe barbs. You probably figured it out by now. Let's get this out of the box and see what it looks like. So here it is, guys. The Rad Relocate kit from Rubberdown Customs. As you can see there, I had the pleasure of heading down to the Rubberdown shop and meeting Paul and his wife. And just want to say, super nice people, super accommodating, very informative. They do everything they can to help you out. So head over to their website at rubberdowncustoms.ca and you can pick yourself up one of these. Very affordable. Compared to what else is on the market, you're not going to find a better deal. And the service is just fantastic. So this is my first look at it outside of the box. This is their default kit with the skull there. And of course, as you've seen, got their Rubberdown text at the top. And then on the side brackets, they have their abbreviation RDC as well, which is still in the cardboard over there. But so far, looks fantastic. I'm very excited to put this on. Tired of this bike overheating. Spilled coolant on my last ride, and then that was just the last straw for me, so it's time to do something about it. Alright, so let's get to it. So the first thing we gotta do to relocate this rad is to get it out. So as you can see, it's in there pretty good. Not a whole lot of working room in here. So I think I'm gonna have to pull some plastics off. Definitely the top rack and the hood. And hopefully we can get the sucker out. So let's get those plastics off. Okay guys, quick pause because I was having a hard time getting those push pins out, and then I realized, got a push pin puller. It's just an update. I've already removed the 4 bolts that hold the rad to the fan. Now I'm going to empty the fluid so I can take that rad out. Alright, first things first, I'm going to start with this lower rad hose here. Make sure you have a catch pan underneath. It's going to gush out pretty good. Just move this hose clamp down a bit. Sorry about the neighbor's dog. Just gonna throw some gloves on real quick. You don't want to get this stuff all over your hands. Alright, let's see what happens here. Here we go. Alright, we're draining. Coolant looks a little wacky there. It's because it's my oil change pan. There's some residual oil in there that's making it look like a nice little soup. So we'll just let that finish draining off and pull another pipe. Okay, so I've gone ahead and loosened this pipe clamp here. Just so you know, it's a 7mm socket. Save you some looking. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. There we go. Let's see if I can't pull this hose off as well. Beauty. So like I said earlier, there's 4 bolts. One up here, one down below, tucked in behind here, and then it's the same on the other side. So hopefully in theory now, I should be able to lift this out. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright, so the rad's out. Look how dirty that is. These Can-Ams, I'm not super happy about the design they have. Like you saw it in there, or you can look at the fan here. It's on a bit of an angle, where most bikes, it's straight up, right? So for whatever reason, it collects a lot of mud. It lands on it instead of just dropping, it just slides down and gets into all the fins, and you get dirty like that. Look at the back of this. That's after I sprayed it out with the hose too. So that's how you get overheating, boys. I don't know how good you can see that, but yeah, it's just caked. Just caked. But hopefully this relocation is going to solve that problem. Being on top, it'll make it a lot easier to clean it out too. So I'm going to take this opportunity now that I got it out of the bike to actually clean it up properly and see if we can get it looking like new. Alright, so we have here some super clean foaming. From what I hear, this is a pretty good product. This is the first time I'm using it. It is a degreaser. It's supposed to dissolve grease and obviously mud and dirt, so it should make this cleaning experiment a little bit better. It is corrosive, so that's why I got my gloves on. I'm going to try to keep that off my hands. And the cool part is, you can see there, it's biodegradable. So we're not going to kill the environment here. So let's spray some on. So my theory is the foaming action should help push some of the dirt out of here. So I'm going to try and get it in all the fins. I'll let it soak a little bit. Oh yeah, just get nice and foamy now, boys. Let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to let this sit for a couple minutes. Let the super clean do its magic. We'll see how it did. Alright guys, so just an update. I got the radiator soaking in some dish soap in my laundry sink. Even after the super clean, it was still really caked in there. So I'm thinking I'm going to soak it for a little bit, see if that helps. But in the meantime, I've been working away on painting the mesh grill that goes inside of the Rad Relocate, as you can see there. So that's my second coat. I'm going to let that dry. So that's got to go in first before we assemble the thing. Also, I did get the radiator fan out, which was a bit of a tough time. It's only 2 bolts, and then it just sits into a bracket at the bottom. Problem I had was the bolts were just spinning and spinning. I couldn't get a grip to get them out. I eventually got a flathead screwdriver in and kind of pried on it a little bit, and it gave me enough catch to get them out. But yeah, so that's out now too. Next step is once we get that radiator clean, we're going to build this thing and start mounting it. Alright guys, it wasn't easy, but we managed to clean it fully out. I don't know if you can see through, but you can see the light pass nice and through there now. Got all the mud out of it. So we are ready to build this thing. Let's get to it. Okay, so we have the screen installed, the supplied hardware, and this nut here is supposed to be a spacer to keep the grate off of the radiator, and this is what we're also going to use to mount the radiator. Let's give it a shot. so we got our nice clean rad here. Oh, you know what we've got to do before we place it on top. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to put some washers on there. Alright, let's drop it on. What I just realized is it's going to be really hard to put the bolts on the back with this fan still on here. I'm going to quickly take this off. And do the backs before we put the fan back on. Learn from my mistakes, people. Okay. Let's throw another washer in there. Alright, so we got those bolts in there nice and tight. We're going to swing around to the front side. I'll go get the side brackets and we'll work on that. Okay, now we got the side brackets installed. See the nice Rubberdown Customs there. And the paint looks really nice. It's going to look really good on the quad. So I'm going to bring it over there and we'll dry fit it, see how it looks. Alright, so that's the first look of it. Just sat it on there just to feel it out a little bit. Looks pretty good if you ask me. The red looks really nice with the bumper and the Outlander decals there. So the next step is to mark and cut our hood so we can run our new coolant lines down to the engine. Alright, so I've marked where I'm going to put my holes. So I'm going to use this old boring bit. Hopefully it works out okay. Alright, so that the bit worked pretty good. Made a reasonably smooth hole there and there. Unfortunately, it's just a tiny bit too small, so I'm going to have to bore it out a little bit so I can get the hose through. Alright, so I got the holes bored out. As you can see, the tube fits, and I made a little notch there for the fan cord. So I'm just working on fitting the pipe. Haven't done the top. I just finished running through the bottom here and then connecting to the stock pipe. So I'm just going to tighten these up real quick, and we'll have to cut some pipe at the top and fit that as well. Alright, so I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this connection and cut some pipe. I'll show you how I did it. Alright YouTube, I ran out of light last night, so I finished it early this morning. Everything's done. I've attached all the hoses, bled it, tested it for overheating, fan kicks in, everything seems good, so I have to take it for a good run and find out for sure. but I'll take you around and let you have a look. Alright, so here's the first look at it. Looks really nice with the red, matches the bumper. So when we left off, I was working on these hoses here. So you can see what I did here. I used a piece of the stock hose to give a smoother transition there, as recommended by Rubberdown. Goes down into the hood. I notched out a piece for the fan cable. I was actually lucky. I didn't have to extend the connector at all. You can see it here. It actually reached, so it saved me some wiring, saved a bit of time. But you can see where it comes down here. And then I used a 90-degree elbow here into another piece of stock pipe from the other side, just to make it a little bit smoother, avoid any kinks. And then you'll see it goes back into the engine there. Swing around to the other side. This one comes out the bottom, so it just comes straight out, straight down to the hood. And then from the hood, there's a 90-degree here, and it's covered by the plastics here, but just goes straight down into the cooling pump. Nothing special there. Yeah, guys, so that's it. I did have to relocate my aux beam 20-inch light bar. As you saw maybe before in my previous videos, it was mounted directly to the frame here. Not enough clearance with the Rad Relocate, so I got these L brackets, painted them red to match the grill. That gave me enough clearance to put it back on there. Really happy with this product. Looks great. Wasn't too hard to install. If you got any kind of technical know-how, you can figure it out pretty quick. Really well made. Seam behind there. Yeah, so I'm excited to take it for a test run, see if it overheats. I think I got all the air out of it. It seemed to be running. Fan was cycling, so try and take it out today and see what happens. So I'll give you a quick rundown on what I had to do. So step one was to get that old rad out. Goes down in here. The rad attaches to the fan with 4 bolts. You take those 4 bolts off, disconnect the hoses, drain it, take that rad out, and the fan will be attached up in here. See, there's holes here and one on the other side as well. 2 bolts, and then there's some bumpers that fit down in here. Disconnect the fan power, lift it out, and that's complete. Then you're going to want to wash that rad really good, because if it's packed with mud, it's not going to do you any good being on top of it. It's still not getting any airflow, right? And after that, you assemble. If you do get the optional mesh screen, that attaches in first. You can see here. So the bolt goes through the front into a little nut to space it off the rad, and then through the rad to another nut, lock nut, just to secure it on. Do that all 4 corners, and then your rad will be in the bracket as well as the mesh. And once you've completed that, it's time to put the sides on. So go ahead and put the sides on before you put the fan back on. It just makes things a lot easier, gives you some more clearance. Very simple, just a bolt there, same on the other side. And then you'll have the frame ready to go. Then I don't recommend bolting it to the frame just yet, because when you're doing these hoses, you might have to manipulate it a little bit to get all the hose clamps and everything tight. There's a lot of jarring, moving around to make everything perfect. So just make that your last step. And then, yeah, I mean, every bike's different, so just kind of figure out the puzzle with the pipe yourself. They give you way more pipe than you need. I got like an extra 2 or 3 feet of radiator hose, so you can really do whatever you want with it. And then after that, fill it from the highest point of gravity, which is a little bit tricky. Trying to deal with this elbow and get it full of coolant without spilling, or, you know, leaving air bubbles in there, but you'll figure it out. And check your owner's manual for how to bleed your bike. Can-Am knows best on how to do it. I followed the little bleeder screw there on the valves, and it seemed to work pretty good. So that's it for this one, guys. See you next time.